Championships in Copenhagen last year. Players coming onto court, Antonsen, the first to arrive, and Sunil Prannoy, who incidentally also won a bronze medal at the Asian Games in Hangzhou. Hurt his back in winning that bronze medal in Hangzhou, and therefore only played another 2 tournaments after that event. Pulled out of the European leg of tournaments because of that back injury. So, as you can see, this will be a third meeting between these 2 players.
Red flag for you.
So Antonsen wins the toss for the coin and chooses ends. And now just going back to those head-to-heads, Prannoy has won both of them, but the last time they met was in the first round of the Hong Kong Open back in 2018. The first time they met was 2 straight games. Last time was 3 games. But interestingly, this is not only the third meeting, but the third time they've met in the first round, which I find quite extraordinary. They're 2 wonderful players who have both enjoyed so much success, but it was a long time ago that they last played. Antonsen is 26 years of age from Aarhus, and that equates to 6'1". I've got him down a bit taller than that. I've got him down at 186. Has been as high as 2 on the world ranking. Only 4 weeks at number 2, but those were 4 precious weeks. He's making his 5th appearance here, and only twice has got through the first round. That was in 2019 and 2023 as well. Last year losing to Anthony Sinizuka Ginting in 3 games. So to the number 8 seed, Sunil Prannoy Kumar. He is down 2 places from his career high of 6. And now he's been in the quarter-final for the last 2 years. In 2022, he lost to Jonathan Christie, who then lost in the semi-final. And last year lost to Kodai Naraoka, who reached the final. But in the last 2 years, he's beaten seeds on his way through to the quarter-final stage. 2 years ago, he beat Cho Tien Chen of Chinese Taipei. Last year, beat his teammate, Asher Sen, in the second round to book his place in the quarter-final. So our court officials from Japan and Sri Lanka. Joachim Pearson, Antonsen's personal coach. He's become an independent player as Antonsen. But a bit of a nomad at the moment, Steen, because we thought he was going to be based in Dubai. That's not actually happened. There's Guru Saidat, the coach for Prannoy. You were telling me that he'd been down to Melbourne to train for a while, then he came here early to train with the Malaysian team.
Yeah, and he was in Singapore training with Lo Kin Yu as well here over Christmas. He hasn't been to Europe between the World Tour finals and this tournament here. So he says he likes it that way, and
to be on the road the whole time.
To be on the road and not keen to be in Europe here during winter, and I can totally second that. It's been freezing cold there, so.
Well, you've sent all the snow over to England. I've heard from my family that they're snowed under now.
My shoulders are still sore from shoveling.
On my right, Antonsen, Denmark. And on my left, Prannoy HS, India. Prannoy HS to serve. Level. Play.
So the number 8 seed, Prannoy of India, far far side of the court as we look down
13-11.
against Anders Antonsen of Denmark. Quite remarkable, isn't it? It just shows the level and standard of these Super 1000 events teams, that the two bronze medalists from last year's World Championships meet in the first round.
There's been a lot of good matches. But there's also more medalists nowadays, as we're having the World Championships every year.
Service over.
But, I think this is a really interesting matchup, because it's two players that are, in my opinion, both really strong tactical-wise.
Yeah.
So to try and see those two outmaneuvering each other, that's something I've been looking forward to.
15-12.
Good control.
Yeah, lovely control.
Service over. 1.
Both of these players won one World Tour event last year for Prannoy, and that was the Malaysia Masters, so he obviously likes playing here in Malaysia. Incidentally, it was his first title for 6 years. Anders Antonsen also won a 500 level event. That was the Korean Open.
3-1.
And they were both significant wins for these two players. Prannoy, as you said, first win in 6 years, and Antonsen first win following a long period where he's been bugged by injuries.
Yeah.
His comeback season, as he called it last year. In terms of that, did pretty well, winning the bronze medal at the World Championships. That's well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because back in 2022, he withdrew from more tournaments with injury than he actually played.
On court 2.
But he wasn't free of injury last year, was he? He
No.
still had one or two withdrawals.
And he was very careful also, so when he sort of felt the slightest, he would rather pull out than risk aggravating anything. Excellent.
5-1. 10.
Prannoy looks a little bit nervous to me at the start of this.
Service over.
Yeah.
17-13. Men's double. Muhammad Shohibul Fikri. Bagas Maulana. Indonesia. Versus Sadwik Sairaj. Renki Rengi. Chirag Sethi. India.
Yeah, it started in very positive fashion as Anders Antonsen.
Empire. Charles Wang.
I think a good indication that he's getting back to somewhere near the form when he was really playing well is the fact that for 11 tournaments, consecutive tournaments, he hasn't had a first round loss, whereas you know, a year ago, more than a year ago, you know, he was there was too many first round losses and too erratic because of the injury problems.
And you don't get into any rhythm, you don't get the feel because you don't play enough matches, and that's what we were alluding to when we were saying sometimes players should downgrade a little bit. And I think for Antonsen it's been about being injury free, then he definitely has the game to do well.
Oh dear, that was a golden opportunity missed by Prannoy.
1.
He also must have had a fair amount of good draws, because he hasn't been seeded in all those tournaments. He might have been seeded in some, but I can't imagine that he's been seeded in all. His world ranking was plummeting.
No. Yeah. Well, this is a dream start for Antonsen and a nightmare start for Prannoy. What should, you know, if you're having a, you know, a bad day at the moment, I mean, what do you do at the moment? I mean, do you just say, right, I'm going to rally to get myself into it, or do you say, right, I'm going to hit a couple of big smashes just to release all the pressure?
Yeah, as long as you decide for one of them, I think that
Yeah.
it's okay. It depends probably what kind of type you are, but I was chuckling a little bit when what if you're having a bad day, because there's an Indian comedian who's done some social media stuff where he says, if you're having a bad day, just give up. Go home and try again tomorrow. That's not possible here.
No, and that's certainly not Prannoy. That's a nice shot. Yeah.
Wipe the court, please.
But you're right, he looks a little bit
3-9.
sort of tensed and nervous, or a little bit into himself. Like he could be
Thank you.
struggling a little bit. But we saw yesterday his fellow countryman Srikanth Kidambi being in dire straits and coming back. A game down and 14-8, 17-14 down. That's the speed we like to see from the players. Then they'll be difficult to beat. Oi! Great save.
Yeah.
Wipe
I
the
think
court,
perhaps
please.
also it's. I mean, when they last played, they played in 17 and was it 18?
18.
So that's 5 years ago, and a lot has happened since then. Antonsen has been in the World Championship final in 19, so he's sort of raised his game. He's been at a higher level, so I don't think Prannoy really knows what to expect. He probably expects something that's better than the player he beat twice in
Thank you.
17
Yeah.
and 18.
Okay, Antonsen.
Ready to play.
4-9.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that trick shot
Five,
very nearly worked for
nine.
Antonsen.
Next double. Please welcome the court officials.
It isn't that wonderful placement by Prannoy.
I think
Service over.
the net in the front
7,
court is going to be
5.
extremely important in this match.
Next double.
Who can eventually
Ben Lee, Sean
gain
Bentley,
control.
England versus Kang Min Yoon, Seo Seung Jae, Korea. Umpire Michael Phelps, Germany.
Yeah.
6 judge.
Well, it's been slightly quick
Double.
starts
Wipe the court.
by this man, Anders Antonsen, at the start of this match. Came out right from the very first rally, looking sharp and eager. And his reward is a 6-point advantage here at the mid-game interval.
Hold 1, 20 seconds. Hold 1, 20 seconds.
Men jeg kunne også se ham komme nu op.
Play.
Well, I'd be very surprised if you managed to hear any of that coaching, Steve.
No, I couldn't hear anything. I could hear they were talking, but no clear sound.
Just long.
12,
I'm
5.
interested. What would you have said to this man, to Prannoy, I mean, he's obviously not made the best of starts, but there's still a way back. You can't give up on this opening game yet.
Yeah, it depends a little bit on how their read is on the drift. I talked to some players and some coaches about the drift yesterday, and there's no decision. Some say that Antonsen is playing with the drift. Some say that Prannoy is playing with the drift. My take is that Prannoy is playing with the drift, but if Antonsen plays flat lifts, flat pushes, extremely flat clears, he can actually quite easily play it long as well.
Yeah.
So, given that, then I would have asked for Prannoy to take control of the net and play a lot more downwards. And now we can see a bit of the opposite is happening, that he's actually using the backcourt. So that indicates that perhaps he is playing up against the drift, which I just don't think that is the case. But he might have elected to try and find the court, so to speak, and try to get used to the drift, because he's so far behind that that it's highly likely that he will end up losing this first game.
7-13.
I would probably also ask him to play a lot more to the forehand of Anders Antonsen, the long forehand, because I think if he can then attack on the next shot, then it goes to the court is sort of open, because Antonsen has been all the way out in his forehand. If you play a lot in his backhand, then he's got the court covered really well.
Missed it.
And I can sense that became very, very long, that explanation, and very hard to grasp. Basically, if Prannoy is able to get to that, if it's inside the court and he's able to get to it, it's difficult for Antonsen to continue from there, because it will be a backhand shot he's forced to play. He waited for that, Prannoy.
Missed it.
There
was a big intake of air. He's just about as frustrated as you'll see him get.
England. That lane to serve to J. Love all. Play. So it's over 7-5.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about, deep forehand corner.
And that's an even better play there. I would even have been satisfied with the lifts, but that one, that's a real beauty. The deception on it. Looks like he's going to play cross, but then twist the grip just in the nick of time.
7-5.
And right now, with a bit of momentum, Prannoy.
Missed it. Now you see those misses. Yes, and that's what makes me think he's a little bit nervous. He's got a huge amount of strapping on his side of his torso there. That didn't really look like the back injury that he's suffered previously.
Look like the ribs.
Yeah.
The ribs. Those two mistakes are costly, otherwise it would have been 13-11.
Yeah.
But Antonsen was alert to it. He was there.
2-3.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Super play by Antonsen.
69.
Seven, 8, 3, all.
Good play by Antonsen.
Service over. 4, 3. Service over. 9, 7.
Fantastic shot.
And how did he set it up? The flat push deep
Yeah.
to the forehand
Yeah.
corner of Antonsen. Longest rally so far.
Service over. Service over. 8, 9.
8 players
Great
got combo.
combination.
Yeah.
Service over.
And the thing is, if that comes
10,
back, there's only one
16.
place it's coming, and that's straight short.
Service on court. Service over.
So knowing where you need to go, super important
5.
in the singles discipline.
Eleven, 8 in the ball.
I took that too late, Prannoy.
Service over.
Yeah, and he was turning the first time,
10.
hoping for a lift from Antonsen. And I think he's done well the Dane by playing back at Prannoy on a couple of occasions at the net. See that one.
Clock to 20 seconds. Clock to 20 seconds.
80, 10.
Please, on top, please. What's the pick? 11, 8, 6, 5. Play.
Service over. 11, 80.
12, 8.
Oy, that's a beauty. That's the service return
Service over.
It's a
that I love.
90,
super shot.
11.
5. Service over. 9, 12.
No.
That's a fantastic shot.
Yeah,
He's got
it's
there.
Super
So
angled,
crisp.
isn't it?
Service over.
Service
12,
over.
90.
6. Service over. 13, 9.
He just clips that racket head over the top of the shuttle, creating the angle. Yeah,
Service over. 10,
being more
13.
proactive now
13,
is Prannoy.
90.
All.
Tennis.
Eight over. 7, 14, 10.
Oy, oy.
That is wild. My goodness me.
40, 90.
8, 10. All.
Why on earth go so sharp for that?
Service over.
11-15.
There's the deep forehand again.
Service over. 9-8.
So game point opportunities
Service over.
for Anders
20.
Antonsen.
Game point. 40.
It's over. 16-11. 10-8. Thank you. Wait. Service over. 9-10.
Oh, that was,
Game.
if that had gone over, it was so desperately loose.
First game.
So the opening
umpire,
game.
Anders Antonsen. 21-14.
Confirmed by the umpire. First game to Anders Antonsen, 21-14. 21 minutes for game number 1.
Pearl.
Det der med, det bliver for blødt, og den har stået og så hellere, når man får en angrebs, så skal han arbejde stenhårdt. For at stole på, at der er den der med det er jo ikke en sidelæng. Du skal bare spille efter dig en eller give dem lidt meget. Startede den og sætte så meget et 0-0 først. Du går op og kæmper om målmanden og får den.
చెప్తున్నాడు వాడు స్లో చేస్తున్నాడు అన్ని సెకండ్ లాస్ట్ మ్యాచ్ ఒకటి మనలో పుష్ రూపీస్ అక్కడ పుష్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఫస్ట్ రీస్టార్ట్ యువర్
Fourth one.
whatever happened is
20
happened.
seconds. Fourth one. 20 seconds. Second game. Level. Play.
Well, it was such a positive start to the opening game by Anders Antonsen. And I think the response from Prannoy is that he's got to make a much better start to this second game. Just let his
Service
opponent
over.
run away with it
One.
right from the start of the
No.
match, didn't he,
So
really?
was it 9-1?
9-1.
So he basically won the rest of the match, or the rest of the first game. Prannoy.
Service over.
Play.
1-0.
Couldn't really hear anything of the Danish coaching, but it sounded to me as they were discussing the drift. That's been an issue for many of the players.
Just long. Well, if the players can't really decide which way the drift is going as far as the lengthways of the court is concerned, then presumably there really isn't any difference and there isn't really any drift.
Yeah, exactly. But they must somehow feel a drift anyway, because otherwise they wouldn't be talking about it. steep attack from Antonsen.
I think that Prannoy is struggling to live with the pace of Antonsen. Antonsen is moving really well at the moment.
Yeah. But also the strapping we saw on the right side of Prannoy, to me that indicates somehow a limited practice. That you can't just practice the way you want to.
19-16.
Every time he puts a little deception on
Service over.
the front court shots, Antonsen, he gets an advantage.
Service over. 17-19. Service for calls. Too high. Service over. 12-14.
Service over. Change. 3-4.
Service over. 20. 10 ball. Service over. 17. 15-12.
There's the net battle
Yeah.
that you had predicted. Yeah.
Out. Service over. 18.
4-4.
Out. 16-12.
But so far this is positive for Prannoy.
Oh, that's a beauty.
5-4.
How much Antonsen was covering his backhand side. He just had his right foot on the right side of the sideline, but all other parts of the body were on the backhand side of the court. Super important variation for Prannoy.
Service over. 5-4.
14-16. Service over. 17-14.
Oh, good net exchange. Another one drifts long.
Really hit that from
6-5.
Prannoy. I really would like to see that again.
Court rule 20 seconds. Court rule 20 seconds.
It's from the back line. That indicates that he's playing with the drift.
Thank you.
Well, we had a rally of 30 shots in the opening game.
Thank you. Okay.
Second game. 20 level point 14. Play.
Good shot.
1 love.
first game won by
I think the fact that Antonsen, you know, when he comes forward to the net, he's got his racket arm outstretched. He's taking it as early as he can. Look at him here. You know, there's a real physical effort to try and take it early, whereas I don't see that as much with Prannoy.
No.
There, for instance. And there.
He's playing the front court really well, Antonsen. I think Prannoy is a bit more clinical when he gets the chances, both in his attack, which I think is better than Antonsen's, and when he gets a chance to follow up and put things away.
Okay, back on court.
One.
Seven, all. James?
Ball 3, 20 seconds.
Three. One.
Oh yeah. Once again, it's Antonsen that's winning the net exchanges.
Play.
Service over. 8, 7.
One.
One. Love.
Oh, that's a good shot.
It's over.
A little reverse slice in it.
4.
9, 7.
Service over. 1 all.
It's over. 5. 2.
10, 7.
Two. 1.
Six. 2. Service Sarajit. Service Sarajit. Show point into 1. 1 per top.
Coach. Service over. 2 all.
Good rally.
Thank you.
And to the mid-game interval, Anna's Antonsen once again with a healthy lead. 4-point advantage, 11-7, having already won the opening game.
Service over. 3.
It's over. 2. 3. 6.
Lidt mere lægt på. Lidt mere.
Hold 1, 20 seconds. Hold 1. Change. Eleven, 7. Play.
Service over, 3, 4.
So play resumes. That rally just before the mid-game interval was the longest of the match so far at 38 shots.
12, 7.
And Steen, it's so obvious to me that poor old Prannoy has been struggling. He doesn't look match fit.
No, I mean, we've talked about it before this, that I have a feeling that he has sort of like a max limit of pace that he can play in. And I have the same feeling today, and that the pace is lower than normal, the max that he can do.
And
He
it's
cannot challenge the net, so he's got to, when he's played back once, he's got to move back in order to cover the back court, and that leaves the opportunities open for Antonsen to play back at him and so on.
Exactly. And these little differences, when you haven't been able to train properly because of injury woes, I mean, they make a huge difference at this elite level, doesn't it?
Service over.
Antonsen surely must grow in confidence now. He's about to get his back to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but he's got a good chance of getting his first win against an opponent he's never beaten before.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely shot. What a difference when he's taking the shuttle early.
13.
8, 7. Go to your foot. I didn't see any. Okay.
10, 13. Change.
9, 7.
That's over. 5, all.
Yeah, immediately looking back down to the line, obviously in two minds as to whether he should have played it or not.
Back to court.
Service over.
7.
40, 10.
Yeah, that's nice.
Number 8,
50, 10.
Just inside the line. It's beautiful
Yeah,
placement.
good placement.
6, 5.
Production challenges called up.
There's a lot of errors. Prannoy on the far back line.
60, 10.
I think that's number 5.
Always landed in. Oh, he's challenging. It's the first
Prannoy
challenge of
exchange
this match,
challenges
actually.
called in.
It was clearly in.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining.
Time is running out for Prannoy.
70-10.
You know, at 10:13, I just had in my mind, you know, a couple more points,
Yeah.
and this could get really interesting.
Play.
Well, that hasn't transpired. Antonsen has upped his game, and then he's opened up a very healthy 7-point cushion.
Play.
Eighteen, 10.
12, 8.
5 straight points.
6. Sirap, sirap.
6 straight points.
10.
Instead. 7 straight points, and now 10 match point opportunities for Antonsen.
The first time
Service over.
it's been a much more lopsided
11,
match than I had
20.
anticipated.
Me too.
You can get the badminton chess game that I look forward to.
It's gone wide.
Game.
And after only 42 minutes, Antonsen books his place in the second round. 21-14, 21-11, and records his first ever victory over Prannoy.
Match won by Anders Antonsen. 21-14, 21-11.
Well, clearly the injury problems to Prannoy have prevented him from preparing as he probably would have liked for this match, but take nothing away. I thought Antonsen was looking particularly sharp and playing particularly well. So the number 8 seed is beaten by Antonsen 21-14, 21-11 in 42 minutes. Welcome back to the Axiata Arena here in Kuala Lumpur. Day 2 of competition at the PETRONAS Malaysia Open. Our next match, after that men's singles, we turn our attention to mixed doubles, and it's